All right, everybody, it's time to strap in. It's time to get your bi-monthly Destiny news update, where today we're talking about update 1.1.4 coming on March 27th, where someone from Bungie found the buff things button and then sat on it for like 3 weeks. There are a lot of buffs here, a lot of buffs. Thoughts of mine are going to be scattered throughout all of these notes. We'll do notes, thoughts, etc. Update 1.1.4, deemed the Go Fast update. Has a lot in store for the Sandbox in an attempt to make things, well, go fast and hit hard. A lot of people mention the slow time to kill in relation to their dissatisfaction with the Crucible right now. In response, Bungie is not exactly tweaking all time to kill times across the board, but they're trying to adjust it in other ways. For example, respawn and revive times were adjusted in the following ways. Respawn times for all quick play modes reduced to 2 seconds and in survival to 7 seconds. The revive lockout time in countdown was reduced to 7 seconds, and players no longer lose revive tokens on death. Also, power ammo will now spawn faster in all game modes, with each mode having varying speed increases, along with power ammo now dropping from corpses, with anyone being able to grab it, although it will despawn if it's not picked up. Finally, ammo counts with regards to power weapons were all either increased or were kept the same, except for swords and rockets, which were brought down to kind of keep everything in line. Now in the next section, which we'll talk about very soon, they mention a lot of weapon buffs, rate of fire increases, base damage increases, etc. So while Bungie doesn't outright come out and say that yes, all time to kill times are decreased, there are some things that will potentially lead to decreases on certain weapons, but not across the board. And that's something that the community was really harping on and really hoping for. Straight up time to kill times being decreased. So why? Why is Bungie not decreasing time to kill times across the board? Well, they never come out and say it in the update. But on Twitter, quote, some weapons are being brought up to be more viable and competitive. We're modeling our ideal time to kill to that around precision auto rifles. In current Destiny 2, most of our time to kill and pace is defined by weapons due to lack of variety in gameplay, end quote. That appears to be why we did not see a straight up decrease of time to kill times across the board. We're seeing weaker archetypes made better, but it appears that Bungie wants time to kill times to sit around that 1 second, maybe 1.0 to 1.2 second mark. Whether or not that's a good idea, we'll find out. People are quite skeptical of this working out, but I will reserve judgment until it actually releases, because my PvP times have all but vanished for a couple of months now. I wish Bungie expanded more on their decisions as to why they went the route that they did a little more, though. Expand more on why they chose not to decrease time to kill times, especially because the community is up in arms about it. Anyway, moving on from that, probably the most divisive of the changes is coming to competitive and trials play. In an effort to encourage more flanking and spreading out, the radar is being removed from these playlists, aka they're turning into Inferno mode from Destiny 1. Now, with the removal of the radar does come the opportunity for some more interesting plays, but it also comes with a probably even greater chance of people camping and sitting in corners. This is a change I dislike more than I like. It is a bold change to make. Some people like no radar. A lot of people like having the radar. Bungie has said on Twitter that they anticipated this sort of feedback from this announcement, and while, again, I can't say whether or not it'll work out, I can say that I'm at least willing to try it, and I encourage people to do the same. Worst case scenario is we have a month or two of Inferno trials, and they flip the radar back on, hopefully within that time frame. Although the last time we had Inferno trials, I don't really remember it being received too well, but that was on Destiny 1, and the pace of play in Destiny 2 is a bit different. Personally, I'm a radar on kind of guy, mainly because I suck at aiming, and I tend to play off the radar a lot more, but we will see how it goes, I guess. I am open to change. It's anything, I guess. Again, for me, it's tough to tell whether or not this is going to be a good or bad change without having played it myself. This is also going to negatively impact some radar-based exotics like Gemini Jester, Knucklehead Radar, and Mida Multitool. Moving on to movement speed, we've heard mentions already of certain stuff. I'll recap that quickly. All three glides, catapult, and strafe lift were retuned and buffed to make them faster and more unique. The mobility stat was retuned to the point where it might actually matter now. And the player ground speed cap has been increased. That's nice. Yay. Stats maybe actually mattering. Arcstrider, Sentinel, and Striker all move faster while in their supers. Their speed is the same for all three. Arcstrider's neutral game is what kept them decent in PvP, but are getting faster attack and dodge animations on their super, along with increased range on their attacks in their super. Also, the shoulder charge nerfs from a while back are being reverted. Yay. New to the party are some Dawnblade buffs. Reduced energy cost for throwing swords. You get a net gain of 1 extra sword per super. Increased the super duration extension from Everlasting Fire. Removed all in-air accuracy penalties while Swift Strike is on. Reduced the Icarus Dash cooldown. And increased the grenade and melee energy from the Heat Rises skill per kill. Wow. Yeah. That's a lot. These are nice. These are pretty nice buffs, all-around buffs. That aerial combat build with Wings of Sacred Dawn might actually be worth something now. So, good. Yeah, this is all good. Next, supers recharge passively 1 minute and 40 seconds faster, a 25% reduction. Great. Good. Supers were way too slow on the passive regeneration, and after playing Destiny 1 recently and seeing how quickly you can get your supers back, I will take anything at this point. It's been way too slow, so yay. Next, mods that reduced grenade, melee, and class ability cooldowns were buffed to get up to 2 times faster cooldowns. Note that this is not replacing mods 2.0, which got pushed back, but I'm glad to see that these mods will actually have more of an impact right now. We'll see what mods 2.0 ends up churning out, but for now, this is good. Next, one of the few nerfs is coming to invisibility on hunters, aimed specifically at console PvP play. I don't think any of these changes affect PvE at all. The invisibility portion of your dodge no longer breaks aim assist or projectile tracking in PvP. It'll stay the same for PvE. The act of dodging, the actual animation of the dodge, will break aim assist and tracking while you're in that dodge, the dodge itself. But once you're out of the dodge and the animation is done, aim assist and tracking is re-enabled. The duration of invisibility via dodge and smoke bomb was increased by 1 second. So the way it is right now is you'll dodge and aim assist is disabled. You'll go invis, then you'll eventually become visible, and that's when aim assist is enabled again. The way it's going to be is you dodge and disable aim assist, you finish the dodge animation, you go invisible, and then when you go invisible, aim assist is re-enabled. This is mainly a console problem, as hunters were very easily able to slip away from a lot of engagements with this combo, or were just able to start engagements very, very easily with this combo. When I played on console, I know this was extremely annoying to fight against, although I do not really play on console with a lot of frequency now, but I imagine it's still probably somewhat of a problem. Moving to weapon buffs. Hey, look, almost everything is getting buffed. Right now, rockets are the de facto power weapon for PvE, and honestly a lot of PvP as well. This is boring. Auto rifles have been reigning supreme for a while, although it doesn't feel like they reign very hard, at least in PvE. Either way, let's start with pulse rifles. Buffed! Everything. Everything about them buffed. Well, almost everything. PvE damage, buffed. Rate of fire increased for adaptive and high impact pulses. Base damage increased for adaptive, high impact, and rapid fire pulses. Precision multiplier increased for lightweight pulses. Decreased precision multiplier for adaptive pulses to keep them in line with, I guess, everything else where they are now. But body shot damage should get some buffs overall. Great! Pulse rifles in PvE sucked. Hopefully they're going to be better now. Scout rifles. Increased PvE damage. Base damage for high impact scouts increased. Great! Non-explosive round scout rifles suck. And high impact scouts really suck. They're probably the worst weapons in the game. They will hopefully be better now. Hand cannons. Increased PvE damage for all. Precision multiplier increased for precision hand cannons. Hip fire and ADS accuracy increased on console. Great! Hand cannons are, they're decent right now, but explosive rounds, which we'll talk about, kind of gives the illusion that all hand cannons are really good, when in reality, it's more like Better Devils and Midnight Coup are good and nothing else gets used. Maybe Sunshot gets used, but that's about it. Sidearms. Increased PvE damage. Hip fire and ADS accuracy. Inventory size and minimum range. And added an ADS movement bonus. Great! Sidearms are worthless, and in my opinion, have had a net negative impact on the game since they were debuted in House of Wolves. They were either worthless everywhere, or abused for their ammo in PvP. Nor have they had any sort of impact on PvE play ever. Maybe now they will. Good. SMGs. Increased PvE damage, inventory size, and set optics to 1.3. Submachine guns are solid for PvP, but their low reserves and damage meant you chewed through ammo like crazy in PvE, and you were always low on ammo, and you can never use it. Never made sense to use, and their range sucks. So good. Linear fusion rifle. Increased PvE damage, aim assist, precision multiplier, and reduced flinch multiplier. Linear fusions are fun, and unfortunately, cluster rockets are way too dominant. I really would like to use other weaponry again without feeling like I'm intentionally crippling myself in PvE. Hopefully now I can. Shotguns. Increased PvE damage for all. Increased inventory size and aim assist for Suros precision shotguns. I'm running out of ways to say great. Legend of Acarius was the only thing that I felt hit hard enough to even warrant using in PvE. Sure, you could chew through 7 shots with a full auto Hawthorns, but 2 of those bursts and you were out of ammo. That's no bueno. Maybe now gooder. That's good. Sniper rifle. Increased PvE damage for all snipers, precision multiplier, aim assist, and inventory size. Great. More words talking about this being good. I can only say the same thing so many times. Good. Good. Grenade launcher. Increased blast radius. I would have liked to seen a damage boost here as well, but all right. Finally, auto rifles. Decreased range and aim assist stats for precision autos like Uriel's Gift. Base damage unchanged. Autos are pretty good right now, with the smaller maps allowing autos to dominate from a lot of ranges. Almost all of them. This change might rein them in a little bit. Perks are getting buffed as well. High impact reserves, kill clip, rampage are all getting PvE damage increases. Dragonfly, aka Terrible Firefly, is getting increased damage, radius, and visual effects. Grave Robber's getting a buff. Timed payload now splits damage 55 explosive, 45 direct instead of more direct damage. The only nerf is coming in the form of explosive rounds, where PvE explosive round damage is getting decreased. However, it has been compensated for with an increase in PvE damage for the base weapons, so you shouldn't do less damage after the patch. This is one nerf that I can actually agree with. Explosive rounds give you so many huge benefits with almost no negatives at all. You can negate range penalties, you can get higher body shot damage. This is why explosive rounds were so good. I'm sad to see it nerfed, but I completely understand why they were. They were just too useful all of the time, and they made non-explosive weapons not a great pick. Just not very good. The mod rework is coming a little bit later, not surprising at all considering the scope of it, and snipers are getting fixed. Both of those things happening in patch 1.2.0 in May. And strike scoring, the issue with lost sectors, is not getting fixed until May, which sucks for me, because I'm one of 12 people who enjoys going for high strikes, so that kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? One thing I wish Bungie had put on their radar somewhere, I didn't mean to make a radar joke, I just realized what I said. One thing I wish Bungie talked about was in-air accuracy. I know why in-air accuracy is garbage. It's to lower the skill ceiling. But man, oh man, Shevitz. I would have liked to have seen more in-air accuracy come to Destiny. Okay. Overall thoughts are, this looks mostly good, at least on the PvE side of things. PvP, I'm just dead center right now because I need to play it. I'm neither happy nor angry. I just kind of am eating the facts and I'm waiting to digest via playing. I'm glad a ton of PvE buffs are coming to hopefully freshen things up in the PvE scene instead of everything just being better devils, an auto rifle, and a cluster rocket. How much are these movement buffs going to affect PvP gameplay? How much is no radar going to affect trials? No idea. From me, you're going to get that cautious optimism. I think PvE will be better, although maybe not just bring back Destiny 1 levels of play like people want, but definitely better. My main gripe is numbers. How much? How much are these things getting buffed? How much is scout rifle damage getting buffed? How much is this getting buffed? How much is that getting buffed? Where's my numbers? I want my numbers. Maybe they'll be released with the true patch notes when the patch actually comes out. We'll see. But I want numbers. I want them numbers. For those not playing right now, again, I don't think this is going to be the bring everyone back update like people think every update is going to be or should be. These are changes to the core gameplay. They don't involve loot or anything like that. Although I do believe some loot changes to some degree are coming in the March update, but not anything extreme to my knowledge. That's all I got. Things look mostly good for PvE, but I really need to see how these changes are going to affect PvP, because without playing it, I honestly have no idea. It could be awful, it could be even worse than what we have now, or maybe it surprises us and it ends up being great. I just honestly don't know. But what I do know is that if you like this video, positive ratings, nice. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.